What is up, everyone? I am Tana Simoncelli, and I am here to talk to you a little bit about making a classroom banner. So I have drawing open right now, and this is just a template. And I get so frustrated, and I go back and forth between, different banners in Google Classroom. So one of the troubleshooting things that you have to keep in mind is that depending on the screen that either the person is looking at, whether it be a device or be a computer, you just have to keep in mind that their screen sizes are just different. And sometimes Google Classroom is weird in that way that it doesn't always work out. So let's go ahead and open up. You have drawing opened up, and then you go into page setup. You're going to change it to custom, and we're going to flip over to pixels, and we're going to do a 1600 by 400. That's going to span that distance. Now, you do have the transparent background, so as you're working, if you don't put anything in there, it's going to automatically turn white. So one of the things I automatically start doing is filling in a shape, and I draw all the way across. Little smidgy more. Okay. And Google is up in the ante now, so they have some of our gradient options. Give it a little jazzy pizzazzy. Okay, and I'm going to change the color. Let's go with a gold type of a theme. This is where you can then add some text, add some images. I'm going to do some word art just because I like to have fun. Google Classroom. Okay. All right, and let's see here. We got some format options. Now we have drop shadow. Check it out. Okay, so now it looks a little bit more professional. And then we have the reflection, and you can actually add the distance, okay, or you can say the size. Okay, so if you want it to really look fancy. And then you have so many fonts to choose from, but don't forget, you have more fonts. And you can go in here, choose, okay, and they have handwriting. So if you want it to look more authentic, we can grab some more of those to add to our mix. Okay, all right, and then when we go back in, that's when you go back and change that. So I now have, let's see here, it was Patrick 1. So I'm going to grab that in here, or Patrick Han, sorry about that. So here's my Google Classroom. And don't forget, you can change the color. So I'm going to do a green and line, and I can add that thicker line. Okay, this green is really not super catchy, so we'll aim it over here. If you don't want to have that reflection, you can just take that off. Okay, and you can add in a image. Now here's another new feature from Google, which I absolutely love. When you click on the image now, instead of just automatically opening up that big window, they have it just as a drop down. So I'm going to say from my Google Photos, and now it's on the side. So right here, I can choose other photos that I have in my Google Photos. Okay, so maybe we'll just add one of these in here from Expedition. Don't forget, you can always use the cropping tool. Okay, so if I double click on this picture, I can use the cropping tool and use a shape. So then that way, it gives me the shape instead of me having to figure that out. Maybe it's a thought bubble that I wanted. Okay, whoop. Change the direction of the thought bubble. All right, and we'll move that. Okay, so there's just a lot of possibilities now with making a banner for Classroom, but the biggest thing is making sure that you have the right dimensions. And like I said, it doesn't always pan out, but I have noticed that this is a good streak to go. Okay, and I do want to move this down a little bit because remember, in Google Classroom, the text will always show up from within Google. So you're going to have your first period English show up, and if you've given it a description, it's also going to be there. So make sure that you finagle with that a little bit as you're moving forward. So that's what I have to share with you. The last thing is file, and then you're going to download as and a JPEG. and then you're going to upload it into Google Classroom as your banner. I hope this was helpful, and Merry Holiday!